BDC.
Oh, my BDC!
Yes, I'm just. Don't be
just. I be soft girl like this, God. I know they smoke, but they craze pass with this.
Go bring water for your.
This story hits hard from the very beginning, throwing us straight into a chaotic emotional world where survival pain and difficult choices collide. The movie BabyWalangolo is not just another street life drama. It's a raw, unfiltered look at what desperation can turn people into, and how love, especially a mother's love, can both save and damage at the same time. Right from the opening scenes, we're introduced to a harsh reality. The environment is tense, unpredictable, and filled with danger. The main character, Janet, also known as BabyWalangolo, is living a life many people judge but few truly understand. She's a sex worker, not by luxury or desire, but by circumstance. Every decision she makes is rooted in survival. Feeding her child, paying school fees, and staying alive in a system designed to trap her. One of the strongest elements of this story is how it doesn't try to glamorize anything. Instead, it shows the ugly truth. Janet faces abuse from clients, manipulation from her pimp Bako, and constant emotional breakdowns. Bako in particular represents the worst kind of control. He is violent, greedy, and sees Janet and others like her as nothing more than tools for profit. His presence in the story creates tension and fear, making it clear that escaping that life won't be easy. But beyond the street life and violence, the real emotional core of this story lies in the relationship between Janet and her daughter, Zikora. This is where the movie becomes deeply personal. Zikora is growing up fast, and unfortunately, she's growing up in an environment that exposes her to things no child should ever see. She's ashamed, confused, and angry. At one point, she even begins to believe that her mother's lifestyle is her own unavoidable future. That moment is heartbreaking because it shows how cycles are created, not by choice, but by exposure and influence. The dialogue between mother and daughter is one of the most powerful aspects of the film. You can feel the pain on both sides. Janet is doing everything she can to protect her child, yet her very actions are what's hurting her. Zikora, on the other hand, is struggling to understand why her life is the way it is. She wants better, but she doesn't believe better is possible. That emotional conflict drives the story forward. Then comes a turning point in the story. The introduction of a man who is different from the rest. Unlike the others, he doesn't see Janet as an object. He listens, he understands, and most importantly, he helps without expecting anything in return. This is a rare moment of light in an otherwise dark narrative. His character represents hope, the idea that not everyone in the world is out to exploit others. However, the movie doesn't suddenly become a fairy tale. Even with help, Janet's past continues to chase her. Bako doesn't let go easily, and the threat it poses escalates. This reminds us that escaping a toxic environment isn't just about deciding to leave, it's about surviving the consequences of living. Another powerful layer of the story is the theme of identity and self-worth. Janet constantly battles with how she sees herself. She knows the life she's living is not what she wants, but she feels trapped. Society has already labeled her, and that label begins to shape how she thinks about herself. It's only when she begins to see that her daughter deserves better, and that she deserves better too, that real change starts to happen. Zikora's transformation is equally important. From a confused and embarrassed child, she slowly begins to understand her mother's sacrifices. One of the most touching moments is when she realizes that everything her mother did, no matter how flawed, was done out of love. That realization doesn't erase the pain, but it creates space for forgiveness and growth. The climax of the story is intense and emotional. Confrontations happen, truths are revealed, and decisions are made that will shape the future of both mother and child. It's not just about escaping Bako. It's about breaking free from a mindset, from a cycle, from a life that seemed impossible to live. And then comes the resolution. It's not perfect, but it's real. Janet gets a second chance, not because life suddenly became easy, but because she chose to fight for something better. She gets a job, she starts rebuilding her life, and most importantly, she begins to heal. Zikora also gets a new beginning with access to education and a safer environment. What makes this ending powerful is that it doesn't ignore the past. The scars are still there, the memories remain, but there is hope. And sometimes, hope is the most powerful thing a story can offer. In terms of storytelling, this movie does an excellent job of balancing realism with emotion. The dialogue feels natural, the characters are believable, and the situations, as intense as they are, reflect real life struggles faced by many people in society today. It's not just entertainment, it's a reflection of reality. The lessons in this movie are clear and impactful. First, never judge someone's situation without understanding their story. Second, cycles can be broken, but it takes courage, support, and sacrifice. And third, love, especially a mother's love, can survive even the darkest conditions. Overall, Baby Walangolo is a deeply emotional and thought provoking film. It's not an easy watch, but it's an important one. It challenges your perspective, touches your heart, and leaves you thinking long after it ends. If you made it this far, then you already know. This is more than just a movie. It's a story about pain, survival, and redemption. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I truly appreciate your time and support. If this story touched you and you want to experience the full emotional journey, head over to Onyiialex TV right now to watch the complete movie. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful movie reviews and updates. See you in the next one.